In our last two sessions, we discussed a letter from Natalie, who was concerned about visiting her friend who was dying of cancer. I suggested that the visit would be pretty difficult as long as Natalie was consumed with her own issues, like being afraid of what to say. In our last session, we talked about how inappropriate it can be, for example, to say, "I'm so sorry you're sick." Now back to the writer of the letter, to Natalie. We were talking about unproductive and even harmful things we tend to do with people who are dying. Another thing we tend to do is step in and offer therapeutic advice. For example, have you tried this treatment? I know of a doctor in Houston who is supposed to be getting the best results with a new form of treatment, and so on. Unless your friend is a complete moron who is being treated by the local witch doctor, your friend is probably getting adequate medical care, so you don't need to pretend you're a doctor. Your taking on the role of a doctor only makes you look falsely important, makes your friend look stupid for not getting the right decisions about getting care in the first place, and doesn't give your friend the feeling of love and support he or she really needs from you. Rarely does this kind of advice end up helping anyone. So, on the whole, keep it to yourself. Another favorite is, well, you'll be going to a better place. Before you utter these words, you'd better be 100% sure you know what you're talking about. And I don't mean that you're sure of your own beliefs. I mean that you're 100% sure that your friend wants to hear this. If someone doesn't have a rock-solid, absolutely certain faith in their concept of life after death, your words will come across as hollow and plastic, perhaps even silly. And it's not enough for you to know just that the other person, for example, reads the Bible. When death approaches, people's faith often wavers. Now, another thing we do when we are around people who are dying. Easily the most common attitude in a situation of impending death is sorrow, whether words of sorrow are actually expressed or not. You go into a situation where someone is dying and you feel sad for them. Sad for their children, their spouse, and sad for yourself. That's understandable. But look what you do to the dying person when you're sad. You create a situation where you require them to make you feel better. Anytime someone is sad, we feel an obligation to lift their spirits. And do you really want to create that burden for your friend who is dying? You don't want to visit her and create an additional burden for her, do you? But you will if you feel sad for her. So, what can you do? When someone dies, that is a loss. But you need to realize that you can focus on what is lost, or you can focus on what you've gained. You can choose to feel sad for the loss of your friend, or you can celebrate the many years you've enjoyed the talents, the conversation, the smiles, the kind words, the love of your friend. I have spoken at the funerals of several friends now, and I have not been able to see these as opportunities to mourn. As I have stood before their families and their friends, I have expressed my gratitude for the years I was privileged to know them. I spoke of the contributions they made to who I am, to who I will be for the rest of my life. So when you visit your friend, don't be sorry for her or for her family. Rejoice for each moment you have with her. She will feel that. She needs that. She'll be grateful to you for that. We'll talk more about your visit in our next session.